Welcome to the Perfect Commentary Part 2, which I've already stated beforehand is probably not going to be anything close to the Perfect Commentary. Now, one of the things you pointed out, Stephanie, is something that I said, and it was, I get along with people with alternative lifestyles so well because of the perfect rule. Now, I'll explain how this works. First of all, the rule of coveting is a selfish thought. All the first 9 Mosaic Law commandments dealt with things that you did physically with the body. The final one was something you dealt with thought. Okay? And God condemns selfish thought. And that's why a whole bunch of people are put in the same boat. I live in the United States, and living in a Western culture like this, we are constantly bombarded with coveting. I mean, people covet things they see on TV. They covet things they see in their neighbor's yard, so on and so forth. Coveting is one of the easiest things to break here in the United States. I'm telling you. But coveting is not the only selfish thought that God condemns. And it's listed also in Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 through 21. And Mark chapter 7, verses 20 through 23, Matthew chapter 15, verses 19 through 20, and even the disciples had a problem with selfish thought, and that's listed in Mark chapter 10. And because of selfish thought, we all end up with Romans chapter 6, verse 23, which says, For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. What does that mean? Well, first of all, I'll show you how selfish thought works, and then I'll tell you what that means for me. Selfish thought. Okay, now we already established in a previous video that when people go through their 12th year on earth, they go through a, quote, bar mitzvah, which God then considers them adult. U.S. government may not consider them adults, but God does. Okay, so just celebrated their bar mitzvah. You got 2 little boys. They're in school. A pretty girl walks by. The one kid thinks about the other one. He thinks to himself, okay, how am I going to knock off my best friend so I can become this girl's boyfriend? Okay, as soon as he does that, boom, he's broken the 10th commandment. Doesn't matter whether he actually knocks off his friend or not. The point is, the very thought about it causes him to break the 10th commandment. Same thing, 2 girls are sitting there, they're 12 years old now, one girl looks at the other, and she sees that her best friend has a necklace that's very, very beautiful, and she wants that necklace, so she's thinking to herself, well, how am I going to knock off my best friend in order to get that necklace? So she thinks that, boom, she's broken the 10th commandment. What this means is that it puts everyone on an even keel. Even if you don't break the first 9 commandments, number 10 is going to be broken. And the very second you break it one time, you've broken the entire Mosaic Law. That's how perfect this rule actually is. Okay, so I know for a fact that people with these alternative lifestyles, they've broken this rule. I know I've broken this rule, so it puts us all on the same even keel. We're exactly the same as far as God is concerned. It doesn't matter whether I feel the same as them. The point is, as far as God is concerned, we're just as guilty. So, it would be absolutely pointless for me to be mean to these people, because where is my righteousness? I don't have any more righteousness than they do. So it would be absolutely pointless for me to be mean to them, because I have no more righteousness than they do. The perfect rule makes me humble, and it should make any Christian humble, because I tell you what, any Christian lives here in the United States and has practices coveting in any way, shape, or form should already know that they don't have any righteousness. Very second they coveted one time, they're screwed. So, there is absolutely no point for the Christian to be mean to somebody with an alternative lifestyle. As a matter of fact, they should be quite nice to them, because they're no more righteous than those people with alternative lifestyles. Okay, so having said all that, I know in my heart that, as unfortunate as it may be, there's only one way that anybody, whether they have an alternative lifestyle or not, can ever get into the kingdom of heaven, and that is to accept the righteousness of Jesus Christ. If you accept it, you go to heaven. These people become your brothers and sisters, and you should love them because they are your brothers and sisters, or they may someday become your brothers and sisters. That's a good reason to love people. They may not be your brother and sister right now, but they may become that someday. And you don't want to have them hating you now and then have to try to reconcile with you later on. That'd be horrible. So there's real good motivation to be nice to these people and to care about them and to befriend them, because someday they may become your brothers and sisters in Christ, and if they do, well, you've already done the befriending part. And Jesus rewards your kindness, and you can find that in the Bible anywhere. And I'm sure you were taught that at least. So Jesus rewards kindness. He says, love your enemies. There you go. You don't have to practice their lifestyles. You don't have to be a part of their gay pride parades. You don't have to distribute leaflets that state their case, so on and so forth. But you have to be nice to them, and you have to be kind to them. The perfect rule makes Christians humble enough to get along with people with alternative lifestyles. And if it doesn't, then there's a serious attitude check that needs to be done to these Christians, because I tell you what, if you think you're better than a person with an alternative lifestyle, you're certainly not. You're no better. And that's why people with alternative lifestyles get persecuted so much, is because the other side thinks that they're so much better. If they were looking at their Bibles, they'd find out they weren't. But the unhappy side to this is that if somebody with an alternative lifestyle does not take on the righteousness of Jesus Christ, they go to hell. And I wouldn't want anybody down there. And it would make me sad to think that somebody went down there just because they didn't grab Christ's righteousness. Wouldn't I have a good enough motivation to help them find righteousness with Jesus Christ? I can't make them be righteous, but I can lead them to Jesus, who can lead them to righteousness. So it is really in my best interest to be nice to these people and to befriend them. And that's basically all I've got to say. Hopefully nothing was misinterpreted this time. There will probably be a commentary 3, 4, 5, and 6 at some point. I just need more time to do it. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.